The ISS is such a fixture in the space industry and has been for decades. It's at the center of human activity in low Earth orbit. But NASA, with the help of SpaceX, will crash the ISS into the Pacific Ocean in the early 2030s.
Speaking of space stations, what did one space station say to the other? Do you ever get tired of being in orbit? It's a real drag.
Hey, shut up, mishap. Okay, back to the ISS. What comes next? Recently, NASA awarded contracts to help develop 4 commercial space stations. But I have questions. Why can't we just keep the ISS? Why do we need 4 stations? Isn't one enough? Could I visit one of these stations one day? I'm Tom with Boundless Space, and I'll answer these questions and more. I'll discuss 4 of the most promising stations under development and tell you which I think is most likely to succeed. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments as well. I want to hear from you. First, why can't we just keep the ISS? NASA studied it. They don't want to abandon the billions they spent building and maintaining the ISS, which is one of humanity's greatest achievements. But it costs billions annually to keep it going, and without constant maintenance and resupply, it can't maintain its orbit and will crash into Earth, uncontrolled if abandoned in space. We absolutely need 4 stations, and probably a lot more. The ISS is cramped, and limited docking ports constrain the full potential of living and working in space. These 4 stations are just a good start. They all have unique qualities, and I've even given them cool nicknames. But which will be the first to launch? Which will be the best? Up first is Vast and its Haven 1 station. I have dubbed it the Toe Dipper. Launched on a Falcon 9 rocket, up to 4 crew members visit this free-flying station via Dragon. Haven 1 is simple: 1 launch to put it in space, and 1 for the crew to visit. Founded by crypto billionaire Jed McCaleb in 2021, Vast single focuses space stations. The Haven 1 is its minimum viable product, so to speak. It will lean on Crew Dragon's proven life support and solar power to supplement its own. Vast has attracted several former senior SpaceX people, including Alex Hudson, Vast CTO, who previously led the Dragon avionics team in the first private docking with the ISS. Who wouldn't want to visit? Look at this interior, as sleek and futuristic as the Dragon that brings you to space. Look at these views. I want to go. Haven 1 is following a new space learning by doing strategy. They are building a small space station to learn how to build a much larger and complex space station. A single module and a single launch is much simpler and more cost-effective than their ideal station. Vast's full vision is a modular artificial gravity space station so large, 100 meters or more, it can only be launched on Starship. Next is Voyager Space's Starlab. I call it the Deluxe. Like Vast, Starlab is a 1-launch self-contained station, but at 8 meters, over 26 feet in diameter, it launches on Starship, and it will hold about half the internal volume of the ISS. Starlab is created by a high-profile team led by Voyager Space, including Airbus, Mitsubishi, MDA, the makers of the Canada arm, Hilton, and Palantir. Starlab also partners with Ohio State University. This international venture brings together leading companies from North America, Europe, and Asia. Starlab is based on Airbus's Loop concept, which featured spin-induced artificial gravity. It's unclear if that feature will make it into this station, but Starlab features a roomy interior with plenty of space to live, work, and relax. The Haven 1 is beautiful and futuristic, but Starlab is even more deluxe. Starlab is an interesting mix of keeping it simple and shooting for the stars. Bringing Hilton in as a hospitality partner shows this will be as Earth-like a station as they can achieve. This is the full expression of the Starlab vision, and they have assembled an all-star team to make it happen. But it's not very new spacey. There's no iteration intended. This will be expensive to build. Like all space projects, delays are almost certain. The third station in this race is Orbital Reef, and I'll say it, it's the nerd. Orbital Reef will focus on research, development, and in-space manufacturing. It's a joint venture led by Blue Origin and Sierra Space, who are also developing transportation, New Glenn for the modules, and Dream Chaser for the crew and cargo. Their partners include Boeing, with their Starliner crew vehicle and space station module experience, Redwire for in-space manufacturing, and Arizona State University. Blue Origin is also manufacturing non-inflatable habitats. Orbital Reef has two fantastic proposed features. The first is a suitless EVA spacecraft, designed by Genesis Engineering to eliminate bulky spacesuits and streamline the process. While it sounds a bit sci-fi and tricky to pull off, it's very intriguing. It would eliminate the hours of pre-breathing needed for the astronaut to adapt to an EVA suit, so there would be a lot more time outside the station. The second feature, Sierra Space's Life Inflatable Habitat, is becoming more real every month. Made of Vectran fabric and other strong materials, Life is stronger than steel when inflated. It has 12 layers to protect against micrometeorites, provide thermal insulation, and prevent outgassing. Please don't think this is just an interesting concept. It will be a game changer. A similar, much smaller inflatable habitat has been proven to work on ISS for more than 5 years. Life will enable huge interior spaces for labs, manufacturing, and creature comforts for the crew. What an enticing vision! Floating in open spaces is so much more appealing than floating through the cramped ISS corridors with equipment and storage on every surface. Orbital Reef has two revolutionary planned capabilities, the Life module and the suitless EVA spacecraft. But it's hard to say much about the rest of the station. Like Starlab, there's not a lot of information out there beyond the vision. For being relatively new players in the space industry, Blue Origin and Sierra Space operate more like old space companies, releasing few updates and no iteration on their plans. Did I save the best for last? Axiom Station I'm calling the Trust Fund Kit. Like Orbital Reef, Axiom Station is modular and will be pieced together in orbit, but NASA agreed to let Axiom Station dock its first few modules to the ISS. That's amazing. Axiom Station will be tested and used in space immediately after launch. It's like when a dad hires his 22-year-old son straight out of college as a vice president of his company. But Axiom Space is more than just the new kid on the block. Founded in 2015, Axiom has billionaire Cam Gafarian and many former NASA leaders behind it. They partnered with SpaceX to send the first 3 private astronaut missions to the ISS. This company is also producing spacesuits for the Artemis moon landing and future EVA suits for ISS and other stations. The Axiom Station team includes Intuitive Machines, which landed the first American spacecraft on the moon in 50 years, and Thales Alenia Space, a French company well known for making ISS modules and satellites. Axiom Station's crew quarters are striking and plush. I would definitely feel at home there. Axiom Station is not being built fully in-house, but otherwise the project is very new space in its scope and ambitions. The Earth Observatory will provide a view similar to floating in space above with Earth below. So, how do these stations stack up? Which of them will be the first, and which will be the best? Fast Haven 1. It is a simple and scalable design, but it lacks international partners, and they are a small organization. Do they have enough expertise to see this through and operate it? Starlab. It's big, simple, and planned to be luxurious and desirable. But despite having many big partners, can the relatively unknown Voyager Space, owner of NanoRacks, manage this conglomerate effectively? Orbital Reef has a beautiful vision of life in space and the revolutionary Life module. But Sierra Space and Blue Origin have been rumored to be on the verge of a split in the past, and there were a couple of years without public updates. While this seems resolved, partnerships between relatively new companies can be unstable. Axiom Station has a huge advantage in attaching to the ISS at launch. Many former NASA bigwigs are on the Axiom team, but they have no major partnerships announced so far, especially in operations. Is Axiom planning to handle everything themselves? Do they have the necessary funding? I predict the first operational station will be Axiom. I just don't see how VAST can hit their August 2025 target. Axiom seems to be the farthest along and will start out attached to the ISS. But the one I'm most interested in visiting is Starlab. Beautiful design and the most luxurious. To me, the best thing about all these stations is they aren't government owned and operated. This means that ordinary people like you and me might one day be able to stay in a space hotel. To some, that may sound dismissive of everything heroic pioneering astronauts have achieved. But why should space be the exclusive domain of government employees? Sure, the hotel prices will be exorbitant at first, but in the next decade, there could be 4, then 40, then 400 space stations in low Earth orbit. Such abundance will bring down costs. Which station would you like most to visit? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.